breeze blowing, storm clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the page lies, it's about to appear. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, and if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that they try to hide. Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend, Mike, he's your man. Then he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here at Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation Pride.
All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Sunday. Special Tropics chat tonight as we get ready for Fred and maybe Grace. Grace is back, by the way. It looks like the Hurricane Hunters found a closed circulation right now, so we might be back to Tropical Storm Grace. Fred died, came back to life. Grace kind of died a little bit, came back to life. So that's the story of the year. Weak, ragged, sloppy system so far. So I hope everybody's having a great evening. I saw some stars, appreciate that. Hey Shelly, what's going on? We got the Brew crew over there at YouTube hanging out. We got chat rolling so fast I can barely read. We got Panama City Patty, what's up? Cheryl, Alexis, hey, what's up there? We got schools closed. A lot of schools are closed. Yep, Leslie, I've been reading that. Definitely prepare for tropical storm in the Panhandle. Thank you, Jody. That's awesome. Appreciate that. South Georgia watching. You might get a little rain, a little wind. We need to discourage the Yankees, Ed. Well, you know, my mom and dad were Yankees, so I can't. But I'm not. I'm Florida born and raised. What's up, Gail? Cheers, Drunk Donkey family. What's up, Katie? No dogs. We do the dogs in the morning. I try to keep these short and sweet, if that's possible. So hey, thanks for joining in Mike's Weather Page. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, and these are recorded. You can go back and watch them. They're always on our page right here. You can always go back and watch them. You can watch them on the app, watch them on Facebook, watch them anywhere. So, not missing a thing. What's up, Dale? Kindberg. Yabba dabba do, Martha. Nobody got notified on YouTube. That's because everybody's sleeping on YouTube. It was closing time at 7. Oh, Matt, you crashed my live stream. What's up, Matt? Let's see, Reddington Shores. Where was I at? Were you the guy? Were you the guys in the box truck? What's up, Vice Mayor? Hey, we got a mayor. Cool, man. I guess we can have a little bit of politics when we have a mayor, and just no politics talk, right? What's up, Nikki? Thank you. Oh yeah, Dale, I seen you drinking that Twisted Tea stuff. Of course, you know I like the Big Storm. I like the Hurricane Hunter. our doggies on the beer. Of course, I'm prejudiced because I like my doggy. All right, well, what is going on? All right, we're going to try to keep this short and sweet. I had to move the YouTube player over, by the way. You know why? Because I don't like this column getting too long. It's like digging. It's like we're digging. You know how they used to make a joke, if you dig, you're gonna go to the other side of the world and hit like Japan or something. I don't know. When I was a kid, I used to think that. Well, we're getting the page so big now that we, believe it or not, we have Invest 96 out there that might become organized by Bermuda. We have a ton of people in Bermuda, so we're watching this one. It's a little guy, a little tricky guy. Let's put up Weather Nerds real quick. WeatherNerds.org. Matt, you the man. I love your site. So 3 little birds. Started thinking, singing Bob Marley there for a minute. Hey, Lobster Pocket, that was you? That was cool. You and your dad. I assume you're the daughter. That's great. Yeah, man. My daughter won't wear Drunk Donkey because she thinks she's going to get in trouble. One day she will. Pamela's about to get wet. Hey, Paul Jeanette Barr, what's up there, Virginia? What's up, John? Yeah, Jeffrey, I don't know how this notification works. So the new thing is I put on the Facebook, as a matter of fact, I put on there on the pinned comment. I try to put it out there a few hours ahead of time when we're going to go live, so that might help people. So check the page now and then. Of course, you can see the page on my page too, right here. See, right there. Should have been pinned comment right somewhere in there. All right, so anyway, let's talk about Weather Nerds. All right, so here is what we got. We got Grace. Now they might have found a center. We're gonna check Grace out. This is nothing to worry about. This is some convergence. This is Invest 96. This little guy might sneak up on us here, and the good thing is, at least for anybody else other than Bermuda, this thing is going to turn back around. So we have this frontal boundary here. It's going to pick it up. So other than Bermuda, don't stress about Invest 96. But that's gonna make the news headlines. Breaking news. Bill, we need a search function. No, we just like to keep everybody on the site. I added like 5 links a day. By the way, we're drinking Mountain Dew tonight. Anybody else Mountain Dew? The center looks a little east. Yeah, whoever just mentioned that, it's trending a little east. And then, here, of course, here's Fred. All right, so let's talk about Fred. Let me shut some stuff down. Let's talk about Fred. Fred. Real quick, we'll do the official site. So first and foremost, I guess my disclaimer, I'm just a weather blogger. I'm an armchair meteorologist. I only do this for likes and clicks. But seriously, official storm information, always go to National Hurricane Center or National Weather Service. And I have all those great links on my site. National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service, Storm Prediction Center, all this stuff. So take what I have with a grain of salt, whatever that means. All right, so here's Fred. So the winds are 45. The track is ticking a little bit east. Doesn't mean too much. It's just inching a little bit closer. Maybe Panama. Don't focus on the landfall with this system. Look, we got tropical storm warnings well outside the cone. The cone is just a representation of where the center might go, by the way. Very, very, very confusing to a lot of folks. The cone is only where the center can go, not the storm, the center. So the NHC stresses that effects can be felt way outside the cone. Cindy, the blob East Texas or Florida is nothing. Unless you're talking up there by Bermuda, that's Invest 96. So Michael Faulkner's a do man, do. I'm in auction mode. A lot of schools are closing. Panhandle, yes. Thank you, Tammy Harvick. We love you too. Things get a little stressful during storm season. We always get a little crazy when sometimes more than people know. Right, Shelly? All right. So here's the 8 o'clock fix. Just came in. Well, 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Still 45-mile-an-hour winds. You can see a little bit of track bump to the east a little bit. These are your winds. Field. Cone is, here's Panama City, Lynn Haven. You guys know too well, obviously, with Michael. Luckily, this one isn't expected to be anything close to that. It is, though, expected to be closer to 60 miles an hour. And we know, we talked a lot this morning, there could be a little window of opportunity for a little bit more with the warm waters, a little bit of loop eddy action going on up there. A couple of models are showing middle 990 millibars, and that could be borderline Cat 1 upper tropical storm. So there you go. Storm surge. This is the interesting part. Storm surge warning is in pink. And this goes almost to Homosassa Springs. So if you guys live in any of these areas well outside the zone here, this is storm surge warnings. Now, warnings are here. Here are the values. 3 to 5 foot. That's pretty good. Pretty hefty. 2 to 4 foot. Steinhatchee River down to Yankeetown, and then down almost close to Tarpon Springs here, 1 to 3 foot. So pretty large area that could experience storm surge. 3 to 5, though, that's pretty significant. Storm's going to be going north, and as we've always talked about, the eastern side gets all the action, and this is no different. So there's a million maps to show. Hey, Michelle, how wide is it? Nancy, they're talking about a little wiggle to the east still again. But it's still a Florida West Coast skirt. We got hit today. I don't know if you got, I put a video on our little group page. And we got hit pretty hard here in Clearwater. We had one big squall line rolling in. High tide is 8 a.m. Monday, windy. Great that you put that on there. John Solomon, I don't know what Michael was, but I'm sure it's a lot higher than that. Steinhatchee. Okay. Nick's drinking Heineken's. I wish I could do that with you, buddy. But, all right, so let's get into it. I got to focus here. All right, so spaghetti models are locked in. Here's some updated stuff here real quick. So, tropical storm force winds. These were just put out. The earliest you could see tropical storm force winds pretty much Monday morning across the bulk of the area. 2 a.m. maybe. But the earlier morning hours is when we're going to start seeing squall lines affect all the way down to the Big Bend area. So it's coming. The estimated radar, let's show you this real quick, just to give you an idea what's going on through the night. This is midnight, so we're still going to have some squall lines possibly setting up here down south. There's our course spinning, aiming straight north. So through the night, we're starting to get squall lines 3, 4, 5 in the morning. That's tomorrow morning. So you live up there in the Panhandle, you're going to start feeling these squall lines. That's why the tropical storm force wind predictions around 2, 3 in the morning. We can start to see squall lines this morning coming up. The bulk of the action, though, is around 7, 8, 9. Here we go. This is 8, 9, 10 in the morning. There's the big stuff right there. That's there's your little bit of eye even possibly showing up. And then this is, 10, 11, 12, noontime. This model only goes out 18 hours. But important to note, if this thing intensifies just a little bit, we're going to have these classic rain trains coming up. And these are going to get very squally. Some of these are going to reach into the Florida West Coast tomorrow, okay? We're going to see that. We're going to see tropical squalls, feeder bands, the tail end of this thing. We can go back to the 18Z and look a little better here. It goes farther out. So here's, we could get these little squall lines starting to reach in more throughout the day on Monday. And as our system races away, this is, Monday evening. This is 6 o'clock tomorrow night. As our system makes landfall, we're still going to see, God, I hate it when I do that. We're still going to see squall lines tomorrow night. This is tomorrow evening, 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So you're still going to feel on the Florida West Coast, no doubt. The squall lines are going to be spiraling in all the way through the day tomorrow, all across Florida. The wind map. This is flood map. This is pretty important. You know, it's pretty moderate risk of flooding here through the next couple days. And this is going to merge with an existing front that's already coming down and get tied up to this frontal boundary. And so that's why this whole area appears under a higher flood risk. But red's pretty significant. So, you know, a lot of areas that are already flooded. We're not going to need that. But that's updated. Another updated map here we can show just came out. This is the updated rain maps. And 6 to 10 inches of rain. So if you're in the yellow, you could expect 4 to 6 inches. Remember, this map's been bouncing all around because of West Coast skirt going farther out, but things are pretty locked in right now. So this is pretty higher confidence that this is the rain that we're going to get. Orange is 6 to 10. So there's going to be some pockets of rain. This is based on anticipation landfall to the west a little bit. So we can even have some problems up there in Chattanooga and the Appalachians with 6 to 10 inches of rain. So that's definitely more than just a coastal impact. Fred's going to be juicy all the way up through the mountains here Tuesday, Wednesday to watch. There's that. All right. So we got spaghetti models, like I mentioned. These are tropical tidbits. These are 18Zs. Fresh ones are coming out here in about an hour. But no big surprises. These are pretty locked in. Little wiggles to the east, little wiggles to the west. The effects aren't going to make a huge difference. Most of the convection, again, is on the east side. So I wouldn't get too wrapped up on an east-west shift at this point. The effects are going to be the same. It's a pretty good system. Somebody asked how big it is. Let's take a look at Weather Nerds. It's had some dry air on the west side. We keep seeing these rounds of convection. In fact, let's take a look at hurricane hunters on tropical tidbits. It is down to 1,000 millibar. That's a good little drop. Ooh, let's just stop right there for a minute. So it dropped down to 1,000 millibars. Interesting. What's up, Eric? What's up, Amanda Guy? What's up, Nick Martin? Pressure not 90, but hey. What are you talking about, Lobster Pocket? CMC 12Z. Was that the... we'll take a look at it. Chattanooga, you're going to get some rains. Heck yeah, man. You're going to get, unfortunately, some rains. All right, so, unfortunately, the pressure's dropped down to 1,000 millibars. The hurricane hunters are out there right now. Interesting. Typically you get down to 995 range, then you could argue that we're getting close to higher end tropical storm, lower end hurricane. So 1,000 millibar, that's a good drop. This morning it was around 1,008. Now the interesting thing here, looking at tropical tidbits, this is the sampling right here we're going to see, and look where the plane's heading. So this will be the question mark. We start to see some higher wind barbs. This looks like the northeast side is the most potent side. So that's good. It's strengthening. And, with the loop eddies, we showed this morning. Loop eddies are a big factor here sometimes and help intensify storms. So even though that's the dry side, it could accelerate some of these squall lines on the backside. So, this thing could try to make a run up to a little stronger here. We'll see. Nothing explosion, no crazy major hurricane. It just could be. And 1,000 millibar tells me it's got a good 12 hours or so at least over water now to try to deepen a little bit more. So tornado threats, good. I'm glad you brought it up, Tammy, because I got a great graphic. But there is dry air, at least on the west side. But you can see a little bit of convection here. This is weathernerds.org. We love it. But there is a little bit of dry air. Not a lot, but it's struggling to. That's Grace. We're going to talk about Grace here in a minute. One storm at a time. So there you go. There's a little bit of dry air on the west side. This is the water vapor loop, but not a lot. Tampa Bay radar is down, by the way, in case you wondered. All right, this is a good graphic. Let me pull this one up. This is, where the heck is it? I had it ready to go. There it is. All right. This is your storm impact map from the national, weather.gov. And this gives you all 4 threats here we can look at. So your wind, obviously your winds, as of right now, we can have gusts of 58 to 73 along the orange. Yellow, 39 to 57 all the way up into Georgia. So these are your wind threats. So orange, stretching up past Interstate 10. So if you got any 18-wheelers up there, be careful. I've seen lots of semis on the side of there. A lot of shear Adam Long, yes. And time. It's only got another less than a day over water. Put it that way. All right, so here's the wind threats. All right, storm surge. We already showed that. Storm surge warnings up in the orange. Flooding rain threat stretches well into Georgia, past Atlanta. So there's your flooding rain map threat. Covering a big chunk of Georgia and Alabama. And red, of course, is major flooding rain. And that stretches up to the state line. So a lot of rain coming. There's Panama, Lynn Haven right in the middle of it. So a lot of rain coming tomorrow. And tornado threats are here in the yellow. And we got that right here. So there's you go. There's your tornado threats. Stretching a little east of Pensacola down through the Big Bend area a little bit. All the way up to Atlanta. So these are your tornado threats. Remember, squall lines. Listen, very important. Squall lines off the Gulf are very strong. And they feed off of that warm Gulf moisture. And they can pack a punch. Especially when you start integrating a little bit of dry air and shear and daytime heating. So there's that. All right, but then the Storm Prediction Center, we still got a little bit of green. I don't think they went all in yet. It's still green. We'll see about the morning. But there's your storm prediction site for marginal threat. Isolated tornadoes are possible across the Florida Panhandle into southeast Alabama into Georgia during Monday. So threat for tornadoes is there. Isolated winds. And then we go to Tuesday, it's gone. So tomorrow is the day. And we're keeping a close eye on what the hurricane hunters are finding because it's already down to 1,000 millibar. Takes time for winds to catch up to low pressure. So just because we see a pressure drop doesn't automatically mean the winds are going to catch up. Sometimes the winds take a little bit longer to catch up to pressure drop. So we might get down to 995, but we might not see hurricane winds. But 995, according to the old Saffir-Simpson scale here, could mean, that we could be inching into that territory. So the old school Saffir-Simpson scale was 980 to 994 pressure. So if if you're wondering if there's a chance, it's definitely a chance, in my opinion. All right. So let's look at some higher resolution models real quick. Then we'll get into Grace. I promise we're going to talk about Grace. I want to look at the individual models though. Let's look at the latest HWARF. We'll just use Tropical Tidbits. That's our favorite for modeling. The latest GFS lowered pretty good. Now we could do two things right here. We could look at two, just kind of a preview here with Grace. Let me tell you what Grace is doing. Then we'll look at the models. So Grace went back down to tropical depression. The hurricane hunters are out there right now. They did find another closed low in Grace. Oh, that's the wrong storm. No, that's the right storm. Oh, there we go. This is Grace. All right. So the hurricane hunters are down in Grace at the same time. So we got BOGO hurricane hunters out there, man. We got hurricane hunters flying into Grace. We got hurricane hunters flying into Fred. But anyway, the pressures on Grace are pretty low, 10 or high, 10, 10, 10, 11. That's not very low, and very poor structure. So it's it's hanging on. It's south of Hispaniola though. Few of the blogs and stuff that I've been reading on are the outside possibility here. I mean, not to make any wild predictions. This is Grace. Definitely expected to cross over the high mountains of Hispaniola, and of course Haiti just had that horrific earthquake, so they're going to be dealing with some rain tomorrow. So tough situation for them down there, unfortunately. So this thing is going to be bad for them regardless of wind speed. But then we got Eastern Cuba that we're going to watch. And the NAC doesn't expect this to become anything more than a depression all the way through this trek with all this land. But we've seen the story before with land. We saw it with Fred. But we also see right here that it could be getting a new little center and, maybe staying on the south side of the island. So, the only trickery we would get possibly would be, a little less land interaction over Hispaniola. But it's very disorganized right now. But they did find a little bit farther south fix at 8 o'clock with the hurricane data. So we'll dig into that real quick. So here's your 8 o'clock fix. So, it's been so disorganized today. But so there's the latest 8 o'clock. Yes, there's your 8 o'clock fix. So 8 o'clock, hurricane hunters found the center to be relocated a little bit farther to the south. Could mean a little less land interaction, obviously. This thing follows along the track that it was expected, then it'll be a little bit farther to south. Seems to be the trend this year, right? So anyway, we'll see what they say at 11. But the overall expectation is this is not going to be a tropical storm until it gets back over the Gulf. This will be 40 miles an hour. And they dropped it to 50 miles an hour on day 5, which is Friday. So they're not expecting this thing to do too much. But we just know to always watch the Gulf. So I think there's still big question marks on Grace as far as what it's going to be. Obviously, it isn't going any farther north like some of the models 3 or 4 days ago showed. So so when I show you these next rounds, measurements of Fred. I promise we'll do that. we'll look at measurements of Fred in a second. Grace will be a Cat 1. Is that your prediction? What's up, Garth? Yeah, I'd be watching. Hey, what's up there from Jamaica? It's cool to see somebody from Jamaica popping in. Storm by Bermuda. Yep, Bermuda's got Invest 96. Invest 96 is up to 70% chance, and there we go. Oh, it's 90% now. Oof, look at that. So that was fresh data coming off of NHC. So that's our next system, Invest 96. High confidence. So we could have some watches and warnings for Bermuda here come 11 o'clock advisory. Or they might do it sooner than that. So that's new. So it's going to get awfully close to Bermuda. It's actually going to do a loop. We showed you that. Modeling shows this thing spinning around. So that is the trend on that. In fact, I do have we got some models down here. Here you go. This is off Tropical Tidbits. Here's what it looks like. This is the storm by Bermuda. We had a couple folks from Bermuda looking. So it kind of going to do a circle around Bermuda. It's the craziest thing ever. But there you go. This is Invest 96. There's Bermuda. This is happening now. This kind of popped out of nowhere today. And it's up at 90%. So there's a chance we could see something out of this. Here's the latest models, which it's crazy to think about it. But here's Bermuda. And this thing's just going to go around it. It doesn't look like much of a chance of it coming this way. So that seems to be the trend. We got that frontal boundary coming in that's going to pick it up and moving on out of here. So, but yeah, a couple days we'll have to watch it. But that's the Invest 96. All right, so let's look at all the models, and then we'll look at the size of Grace. Let me close some stuff out. So Grace is very ill-defined. Grace appears that center has relocated a little to the south, which we were showing that earlier. We were looking at it, I think, this morning. Let's see some good satellite here. Here we go. So that you can kind of make it out. Got a good blow up of convection right here. You can see it. So I've been watching that. So that's where the hurricane hunters are at right now, and of course that's pretty good. I mean, a lot of lightning. Good indication that it's trying to come back. So that there is some Twitter chatter that Grace is re-intensifying a little bit. So here's Hispaniola, here's Haiti, and we'll see how much land interaction we get. So, all right, so let's look at all the individual models, and then we'll go to the HWRF and the HMON. Let's put it right here. I wonder if I can fast forward right here. I think we can. All right, so this is what we'll do. We got Grace, slow down, Michael. I think it's 18 miles an hour last I checked. 16 maybe. We'll look at that in a second. All right, so here's the latest GFS. All right, boom. So here's Grace down here somewhere. That's what we're looking at. So we're looking at three things: Invest 96, Grace, Fred. So we'll show all the models. So there is Fred getting a little stronger. So this is interesting to note. I got to show you. So model data was initialized. This is his 18Z. So the models were initialized with 1,007 pressure. GFS thought it was 1,007 when this model ran. So it's 1,000 now. Not saying it's going to be, you don't subtract 7 from what it thinks, but it might be a little stronger than what the GFS thought it was at the time. So GFS expects it to, no matter what, strengthen a little bit. 995, there's your panhandle. So this would be obviously Monday noonish, 1-2 early afternoon. So Monday morning effects, would be the greatest. 8, 9, 10 leading up to landfall tomorrow, 995. So upper end tropical storm, lower end maybe hurricane. Here is Grace. Here is 96. So here's Grace coming across, and GFS keeps it weak, almost down into the Yucatan Yucatan. I haven't said that all year. And there you go. So that one keeps it kind of low, keeps it kind of weak. There's some talk of some dry air, but doesn't do anything with it. So that's good for now. We'll look at the zeros. We'll look at the 12Z on Grace, and doesn't do much. So GFS is not too enthusiastic on Grace, and then 96 here is not really doing much either. But 96 kind of popped up quick. But you can see the general low pressure path here is around Bermuda. So Bermuda's going to get some rain out of it. All right, so then let's look at Canadian, our trusty CMC. All right, so CMC, same thinking, 1,004. This is tomorrow night. Here's Grace, and doesn't really do anything. A little spin out. You can see the main vorticity going into Texas. So I mean, if anything, even if it's not organized, we could get some Texas rains into the weekend next weekend. Timing here would be Friday. Even if it doesn't develop, I think GFS is about the same time frame, a little lower south, but same time frame. Later into the weekend, if it does indeed go all the way across the Gulf. But the good news is right now it's not showing anything. All right, the euro, here's a little bit of Invest 96. Spins it back around. That's good. Here's Grace. Doesn't really do anything with it. Tears it up. Here's Friday morning. So the euro is not even developing it. And then we go to the icon. Icon is developing a little bit. Let me rewind here. So the icon keeps it south. There's 1,003, 1,004 on landfall. So that, I mean, things are pretty locked in, pretty good with Fred. The big question now is watching it in real time and see if we get any last minute strengthening. And all that's going to do at this point is just higher winds. I mean, the path is pretty locked in. Now it's the question of, do the winds pick up? But there's going to be nasty squall lines regardless. As we have with tropical, upper end tropical storms. So, all right, and here's what the icon shows on Grace. Keeps it south, down into Yucatan, and a little window to try to develop in the Bay of Campeche. So you're getting the feeling here that that's out of the question. So it's probably, now that we're down here, we're looking at more this for now. I mean, all right, let's look at the HWARF for Fred. Let's see what the latest for Fred. And it showed, let me do here, and it initialized at 1,006, even though it's 1,000 now. And it shows 993, Good representation of what we could see, middle 990s, lower 990s possible. There's Florida. This is 18Z, so this is early afternoon, basically tomorrow. We can look at radar and give you an idea. Here's leading up to morning hours. This is like 4 in the morning. Here's 7, 8 in the morning. There's your squall lines coming up. Here's mid-morning going into noontime, and here's early afternoon. So that's what she's going to look like. HMON. Let's see what HMON says. Fred is 991. Panhandle 998. HMON's a little more aggressive, but you get the idea. I mean, everything's coming together as far as what to expect. There's a really good look at what it could be looking like. And this would be Monday about 7, 8, about 9 o'clock in the morning. Classic. All right, let's look at, I guess we really need to look at Grace, I guess. Grace, here we go. This is HWARF crashing into Hispaniola, Cuba. Then it dips down a little low, and it really gets it going. Yucatan. 942. Let's hope that isn't right. But there's the Bay of Campeche, Yucatan. This is here's Thursday. Here's Friday, nearing looks like more Mexico there, Texas maybe. This is Friday morning, but that's pretty strong. So let's hope that's outlier. And then HMON, real quick. Here we'll take a look at Grace. Grace is showing a little lower than Cuba. This is hard to see, I know, but let's see here. That's really hard to see. This is disorganized mess. Here's the Bay of Campeche right here, 103. So the Yucatan definitely watching. I know it's hard to see, but this is down to Yucatan. So wow, lot of models. Size. Okay, so I'm getting size. All right, we'll do size. Fred. Here's the radar, by the way. Tampa radar is not working. So if you're wondering, you're gonna have to use satellite radar. Well, it might be working now. Maybe they got it fixed. All right, so let's take a look at size. Good site for that. Weather Nerds has got a tool on here we can take a look at, and we'll zoom into that real quick. hand, let's see, I'll stop the loop. Let's see, we'll zoom out. Let's see, we'll get a, I guess we can, kind of hard looking at this, but we can try it. All right, so we're going to do it this way. So let me zoom in on it, get the page a little bigger. Look at this little bubble down here. Man, I mean, it's not really organized. I mean, it is organized, but it doesn't look that. All right, but here's the size, just for fun. All right, measure. Let's just go here. Where do I go? Because we got a convection away. We can just go here to here. That's 200 miles. I would say the core of the system is 200 miles. There's 220, 240, 220. So I'm not going to count all this convection. Technically, the rains are about right here. So 220, just figure 2 1/4. 2 1/4. We'll call 2 1/4. Maybe 250. Nah, 2 1/4. 2 1/4. 225. Shelly, 225 miles, not kilometers. It's that big. Look at this little ball down here. What the heck is that thing, though? That's crazy looking. What a big old, that might be coming to Naples. You guys need to pay attention down there. Let's see what the heck's going on down there. So here's your center technically. Remember, Tampa radar I don't think is working. This is a blend of all radar. But this is a pretty good little line setting up, and it definitely could be sneaking in overnight. So definitely we should be watching that down south, Southwest Florida. That is interesting. Look at this little guy down here. Let me let's take a look at that. See, I got to turn the measure tool off. Every time I turn that measure tool on, I never can turn it off. So then I get all this. All right, so now we go back. We'll go zoom in. All right, zoom in. This is something that's interesting. So we're going to look at that. Look at that ball. So it's hard to tell. Here's Alligator Alley right here. Boom, that's Alligator Alley. So that's Naples. But look at that sucker, man. So you guys are going to get some storms. And this might even sneak up to me tonight. This little guy is rotating around. Big time. Let's see if the HRR is picking up on it. So yeah, let's go back to hurricane hunters too. I'm really curious what kind of winds they're going to be finding in that northeast quadrant. Oh man, look at that. We got some big red barbs now. This, I don't know if that's 27. Let me see here. That's hold on a minute. 20. Where the hell is 27 at? All right, on update. 27. Nope. Maybe 27. What the hell? Where is that? Man, that might be the blob. No, that's not the blob they're checking. That's way over here in Naples. But anyway, they're finding some pretty good looking winds here. I don't know if that's going to be isolated or not, but those are definitely getting up there in wind speeds on the east side. So the main blob's still up here though. So we're going to see real soon if the hurricane hunters are finding more winds. They're collecting all this data for the 11 o'clock NHC advisory, by the way. Interesting, right? So if you're down in South Florida, I'd be keeping an eye on this right here. This blob is definitely action-packed. For sure. Let's see if we can see it. What can I see it with? I mean, I don't think the HRR is going to pick up on it too quick. We can look at satellite radar and let's see what it looks like live right now. There it is. Look at that. So there you go. That is live storms rolling in. Look at that. So that's big. So if you're along Sarasota all the way down to Naples, I'd be in Marco Island. I'd be watching this little blob right here tonight. This little guy's getting a little close, and that's got some pretty pretty big punch. As a matter of fact, we can go to radar scope here, and I got a new version, so knock on wood, no crashing. So let's go to Miami radar. We might get a better look, or Key West maybe. About the same. But this is the one we're looking at. We'll see, what it's got, but that's pretty hefty. So big storm. I'm gonna have to show that here because a lot of folks probably have no idea. I guarantee it. Nobody along the Braden, Sarasota, North. This thing might not really make its way much westward, but it is going to go up, and we could probably see that with the HRR. Let's take a look at that because these get updated every hour. So they usually pick up little spin ups like that pretty quick. So let's take a look at the latest. Let's see, 823Z. There it is. All right, so it's showing it about 10 o'clock. No, that's 10 o'clock. That's 8 o'clock. That's now. What the hell? That's 23Z. This is 9, 10 o'clock. So here we go. So you definitely, there's a chance that this stuff does make it ashore here in a little bit to watch. And they could reach its way all the way up into Manatee, maybe even to Tampa Bay. So, and it's bubbling more now than the HRR even picked up on it because you can see it's got a lot of lightning, good convection. So we'll keep an eye on it. Let me zoom in on it real quick, and then we'll slow down a little bit and talk about what is happening elsewhere in the world. So, Mike, is it blowing up, getting bigger? Well, the pressures are dropping. This is what we're talking about down there. Let me zoom in a little closer. We'll do it right here. We'll zoom in right there. This will be good. This will be a good shot. Here we go. And then we'll loop it. This is Weather Nerds, by the way. We love it. We'll loop it and we'll just leave it run for a second. So the most important thing tonight is the hurricane hunters. Spring, sprung. What are you guys talking about? Grace, Granny, Grandpa, we have no idea. You're in Dothan, Susan. Well, guess what? It's coming up there. Grace is the big question mark. It looks like the center might be a little south than projected. If you're rooting for Grace, its best shot is going to be to stay south of the islands. And I do know there's been some past storms in history that have wiggled south of the islands and become a little something. So, but this is happening. So then we got more convection bubble here. We got a little convection bubble here. Everybody gets a bubble. But the most important thing tonight, like I said, is going to be watching the Recon, and they're out there right now, and they are going to be making a pass. Possibly, here is the strongest winds, according to the visible satellite. This is an interesting little spot. It could be contaminated. I don't know. But this will be the question mark right here. Pressures are down to 1,000, so it's definitely strengthening. 1,000 millibars. Once it gets under 1,000, it can start. The best thing we got going for it, it doesn't have much time. Got a little dry area on the west side. It's got some shear. Doesn't have the ideal environment. A little bit of shear. Doesn't have the ideal environment to really get going. A little bit of shear. So, but it's going to make a run. It's going to make a run of that upper tropical storm, maybe lower end hurricane. I'm telling you, looks like it. Pressure's dropping. Another thing to look at here with Grace too. Grace is popping here a little bit more too tonight too. You can see that right here, big time. So earlier today, it lost a lot of its punch. This is Puerto Rico, but we're seeing the same sort of blow up here tonight. where the hurricane hunters are out there right now, actually flying around, and you can see that they're finding a closed level low again. So we might be back to Tropical Storm Grace at 11. The question here, of course, is this sucker going to miss a lot of this land? And if it does, then we might have to reevaluate potentials. You got Jamaica watching down the road south of Cuba. What's up, Billy Van? You're welcome. Thank you, man. Next update's at 11. Jose over there on YouTube. Yep. So 11 o'clock, we get a new track update. We get, man, and they might, who knows, they might PTC Invest 96 for Bermuda. But Bermuda's tough, man. They told me their houses are built for Category 10. Telford, yeah. Fred was crazy. Fred never really got organized before the big mountains, and either is Grace. So any mountain disruption, they're a very fragile state right now. It's very the storm's in a very emotional state. So those big mountains smacking around a little bit, it's gonna have a hard time recovering. But it keeps going farther south, and you can see this. Let me close some windows here so I don't blow up my Chrome. Been very lucky with Chrome this year. I think I only crashed it one time. But as you know, I like looking at the 8 o'clock fix and where it is in relation to where it should have been, and it's always kind of fun to see that. So the 8 o'clock fix was obviously south of where they thought it was going to be. So we get a center relocation, then it could miss more land. Originally this thing was supposed to do that, but it didn't. So we'll see what they say at 11. But the good news is they're not expecting this thing to be anything but 50 miles an hour here. But earlier today I think they had it at 65 miles an hour. So they, in a 6 hour update, we went from 65 on day 5 to 50, and that's all because of the amount of land interaction. Less land interaction, more time to develop. Could be something to watch in the Gulf next week. This is Friday, potentially. Or actually, is it Friday? They're saying August 20th, which is Friday. So Friday, Saturday be somewhere around here. That would be end of the weekend. Let's look at some ensembles. We haven't done that. All right, so ensembles for Grace. Here's your European. These are on Weather Nerds also. So European ensembles, obviously, a lot of them to the north. That ain't happening. These ran at 12Z today when it was below Puerto Rico. So the reality is it's a little farther south, meaning, these aren't more, these are wrong. But anyway, big spread. But it gives you the idea, obviously, that where it's ultimately going. That's the Euro ensembles. GFS got a little more of a southern component to it. This is the 6Z GFS. And again, it expected a little bit farther north, but we definitely have more of a Yucatan Bay of Campeche feel on the GFS. So you see the trends. The trends are high pressure building in, keeping it south. Florida looks like it's getting out of the cone a little more every time. We're seeing that trend. As a matter of fact, it's not even in the cone anymore. I didn't even notice. But so Grace is going farther south, and Florida looks like it's out of the cone probably for good. But as far as the U.S. goes, definitely everybody's watching for sure. All right, what else we got? Anything else? Here's a good map. I like Southwest Florida Water Management here. They have all the ensembles also. And interesting to note here, they have solid red is the NHC line. This is the NHC line, and look, a lot of the models are to the south. So likely going to see a shift to the south at 11 o'clock. That's usually what you can use spaghetti models for, is you see the official line, then you see all the models that have run after, and you can see that also pretty good here on, let me show you this one, the blue line. Remember blue light special? Steering, Tariq, there's a big high pressure system to the north. So here you go. These are, these just came out. These are 00Z. All right, so let's just leave it here for a minute. These are off chart. Literally. All right, so these just came out. 00Z. Hey, Vicky Hill. Thank you. I wish I was a little more goofier, but I just try to talk with her when it's weather. So these are your 00Z models. These are fresh and blue line, NHC line, and look where all the models are. So I would almost bet money we're going to see an NHC track change farther south tonight. So that means Yucatan and of course Texas mainly at this point. But I'll be really curious to hear the NHC discussion if they're going to talk about less land interaction, less Cuba. You know, we know this. We know that the ocean heat content here in the lower, below Cuba here, Western Caribbean, extremely hot. Hottest waters on the planet for tropical development right here, man. It is hot, hot, hot. So if our system does redevelop a center, does miss a lot of land, does miss Cuba, could be looking at a little more intensifying system because of more favorable environment for development. So we'll see at 11. We'll see what they say. But, you know, definitely, you know, unfortunately, it looks like it's got this trick. And, you know, somebody asked about steering currents. Well, let's take a look here. We'll go back to tidbits here, and we can see upper level winds for that time frame. And look right here. So just a quickie look at the upper level winds. Extremely high pressure here. Very, very high pressure system. Very high. So our system really has nowhere to go if you think about it. There's no brakes. There's no fronts. There's no escape. So the high pressure on the GFS there, Euro a little bit weaker, but still stretching into the Gulf here. And you can see that very well with the orange. This is basically high pressure right here. And so our system really only has one way to go. And that would be west, northwest. And Canadian model, same time frame, little bit weaker, but look what happens. The high pressure builds, as we see a lot. So as our Canadian model goes, high pressure sticks around, extends west, and really has nowhere to go for that. And remember, high pressure systems spin clockwise, so they help accelerate our systems in the same direction that they're spinning. So that's kind of a neat little phenomenon. Long range, so we haven't done this in a long time. There's really nothing standing out as far as what's next. I know that the Global Tropics Hazards Map predicted that we would have another system next week to watch, but not really seeing much signal. There is another wave coming off of Africa that potentially we could be watching. Here's the following weekend. This would be tropical storm percentages from the Euro. This would be Grace. But past Grace, just a little break. Doesn't mean it won't change. Just nothing, at least on the latest 10-day run showing up. I mean, we can go to last night's 00Z. We had a little bit more signature maybe down the road of a wave here. This would be August 26th, 11 days away. Little signature. You know, we go tropical depression, you'd see a little bit better. So, you you know. So there's always that chance of tropical waves. But as far as like we've not had that guaranteed system this year, except for Fred, if you really want to talk about it. I mean, everybody's predicting a upper scale tropical storm as far as modeling goes. But modeling has not been good at all this year. I'd give it a D minus. D minus. And it sucks because normally in the past we would be picking up on models at this time. You know, I remember when Irma formed. My God, the models were all over even after Africa, and I mean Florence too. I mean, but it's still August 15th. You know, our peak season is September, October, so we're still early. 00Z on Fred. Yep, Brooke. Oh yeah, we didn't look at that. Well, at this point in the game, it's not going to change much at all. We're so close to a landfall now that we're not going to see hardly anything. Here you go, 00Z on tropical tidbits. So it's pretty much locked and loaded. Landfall isn't going to make a big difference as far as the effects go. Remember, the main effects are going to be here, as most of our convection is to the east side. You know, and as this thing, you know, goes to the north, we're going to have squall lines tomorrow, still into the Florida Peninsula to watch. We're going to have those fast-moving tropicals. So tomorrow for Florida Peninsula, it'll be the classic tropical rain bands that I love. You're going to get sunshine, quick-moving, fast-moving tropical downpour, sunshine. It's going to be windy. You know, in fact, let's look at the windy map. Let's look at that. We haven't looked at that in a while. So windy map is here. And we'll show you that. All right, so let's look at winds, gusts. Let's look at the latest GFS because it's a little more up to date. Here is what, you know, we can possibly see. This is tomorrow. All right, so here is 8 a.m. tomorrow. 8 a.m. tomorrow. Notice the counterclockwise spin. We can click and get, you know, 29 mile an hour, 30 mile an hour, you know. So coastal areas will start to feel, you know, pretty good gusts here along the upper Gulf Coast. Especially getting a little more steam over the water. The track speeds up to, let's go to 1 p.m. This is probably Eastern. I think it's Eastern time zone there. But anyway, this is big stuff. This is 1 p.m. tomorrow, 43. These are gusts. This is worst case scenario. 50, you know. Panama, it's kind of in on the eastern edge. God, I'd like to be, so 1 o'clock. See, I would have to leave. I'd have to leave. I'd miss it all. I had to get Sarah on the bus at 9. We could do the daily brew in the car, Shelly. We could. So, hey, Mike, star. No chasing. She's getting steamy. Dials a millibar. Hey, Stephanie Stokes, coming right for you. You can send us pictures. That's a long drive. All right, so that's 1 o'clock tomorrow. Let's go to the Euro. That's the same, right? 1 o'clock tomorrow. Big winds rolling in. So you're gonna things are gonna start going downhill daybreak on. Let's go back to GFS and let's go to possible landfall afternoonish. Euro about the same. Euro's got a little more wind field for gusts. This is 8 p.m. So Euro's a little bit slower. GFS a little quicker. GFS is more to the east. This is 8 p.m. It already made landfall. So looks like about a 4-hour difference between 3-hour difference. This is the GFS closer to Panama City tomorrow, 5 p.m. Winds possibly gusting. You know, GFS doesn't do very good on the winds. I'm not going to show that. GFS has never really been good on the winds. Here's your Euro. go a little bit down, and it's a little bit more to the west. But the euro, this ran at 2 o'clock p.m. We've seen a little bit of bumps eastward now in reality. So this will probably, the 00Z euro will probably bounce a little bit to the east. But this is tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Another good map here. We can look at wind gust possibilities. I think GFS hourly does it too. Euro, we can actually zoom right into Florida on well, actually, you know what? We can even get closer maybe. Oops. Let's see, Euro, Florida, Tallahassee. We're probably going to miss a lot. So we'll go general. All right, so here's the wind gust map total. Well, we'll just do this one. So here's your maximum wind gust expectations. The latest Euro. And, you know, this kind of gives you an idea, I guess. Yellow's obviously faster, but that didn't really show us anything more, I guess. Here's the GFS winds. A little more pocket. But see, the GFS is 994 millibar. Is the latest 18Z thinking. So middle of the road 990 seems very possible now, that especially that the hurricane hunters are finding 1,000 millibars. So, you know, we're definitely going to have a higher end tropical storm minimum. There, so. Somebody's grilling sausage. That sounds good. What's up, Brantley? Julie, they must be talking dirty stuff or something. What's up, Bill Lauderdale? It does not take me 7. I do not drive like an old lady, Bill. I'll take Julie's car. No, I can't because my truck's the Storm Chaser. Julie's car is a little quicker than my truck. Big time. All right, so let's look at the hurricane hunters live data. All you do now is look at things in real time. And there's that big blob heading into southwest Florida. It's going to surprise a lot of folks tonight. I have a feeling if it makes it ashore, hurricane hunters are taking off again. So we'll be seeing another. This might be going to Grace. There's Homestead, I believe. That's Homestead. So it looks like they're going to Grace on that one. But here's hurricane hunters. All right, so they're getting ready to go into the big blob. We'll see what the blob says. But last recon was 1,000. So when this thing, you know, we get a fix over here and they get a new fix position, we'll be curious to see if we get a pressure drop. We get 999. It's a little bit of strengthening. So, Eric, what's up, man? Did you see the damn Rays game? Freaking walk off, man. John Drake had wieners and beans. You know, my favorite dinner in the whole world, I swear to God, is hamburgers on the grill, charbroiled, with fresh tomato and onion, potato salad, and beans. Something about like mixing hot beans with cold potato salad is like freaking awesome. And the crunch of a good old Vidalia onion and fresh tomato. If for some reason I put mayonnaise on my hamburger. You guys put mayonnaise on your hamburger? So yeah, Panama, I just be paying attention. You know, I mean, you're you know, any low line areas, you got to be, you know, alert. We got a storm surge warning, 3 to 5 foot expected. Indian Pass, 1 to 3 foot. So this is just all due to the northeast flow. The Sierra map I have on here too. Now listen, on the site I got tide information. Somebody was saying we had 8:30 a.m. tides. We can kind of zoom in, I guess, see what we got here. I'm not familiar with the area, but we can look here, just pan them off, for example. Low tide 3:04 a.m., 3:17 low tomorrow. So that might mean that we might have a high tide more later, an incoming tide. So we do have a low tide at 4, high tide at 4 a.m. So it doesn't look too so we won't have high tide when the worst is coming, at least at that spot. What else we got? We can look here. The other thing I got here is the Sierra map, which is kind of nice. It's not official, but definitely has some great idea, I guess, what you could get where you're at. So this is based on the current NHC track. And it's just, it's just another map for surge. It's the Sierra site right here. I got Sierra right here, and I also have a link down on the right side somewhere. Right here. Sierra. The Coastal Storm Surge map. It's a good site. And you can zoom in, see a little bit more what you might expect. So definitely Big Bend area. Appalachia Bay will be a little higher than normal. So be interesting to be around this neck of the woods. St. Mark's, Port Leon. But and it's 4 to 5 foot right there. So all right, so any other things we could talk about? Montreal steak seasoning. Hey, that sounds good. I like a lot of hot sauce. All right, so that's about it. We'll be live in the morning. Grace is ticking south, Anna Hofford. Better or worse for Houston? Well, I don't like the word worse. It's twofold. One is it could mean it might have a little better shot of organizing, but if you look at the 00Z modeling, Houston doesn't have anything going your way. So I think it can mean a little stronger system possibly, but for Houston it means there's a little better chance it's going to go to the south. But it all depends on this building high pressure too that's coming across. We got to watch. So, but according to tradition, when all the spaghetti models are below the official, then likely the models are picking up on a track change, and we'll see at 11 if we get a track change even farther south. And I know we got a lot of folks watching in Cozumel and the Yucatan down that way, so be paying close attention to Jamaica too. Hopefully it won't be organized by then, but there's that opportunity that this thing could scoot south Cuba, and who knows? This is pretty high confidence right now, though. We're not seeing any curve. So definitely high confidence that the high pressure is going to be pretty strong here in the Gulf. Now, a stronger system, could pull a little more north, but, intensity models are under track up a little bit. So, we got a few outliers, but majority of them are so what to watch it. All right, so what are we going to watch at 11? So 11 o'clock. I'm excited about this. I can't wait to see what we got cooking out here. We'll just leave right here for now. Let's see where we're at. I lost it. There we go. So I'm curious what happened here. Rain rate high. But anyway, so we're gonna pay attention to the hurricane hunters. We'll see if they show any stronger winds on approach over that convective. So So Daytona race, few weeks. Mark Hall, yep. Who? Hey, what's up, Greg Montgomery? Hey, I know, man. I thought you'd like that story. Hey, so you guys sent me that swag. In every storm chase that I went on last year, I forgot it and got soaking wet. So I dug it out today. And everybody's looking at me like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's sporting my damn raincoat, man." It had more whistles and had like even inside the freaking pockets, you could pull it tight, like to be completely protected. You had your own little belt inside your pockets. It was cool. All right, anything else? Oh, Tammy, I feel like I'm going all around in circles. It's so hard. I wish there was this one storm to concentrate on. I mean, I could do a bottom line. I mean, well, no, I'm not, because it all makes sense. Landfall really is immaterial with Fred right now. Everything's going to be on the east side. The strongest winds are on the east side. We have a lot of dry air on the west side. So it's kind of hard to see where the strongest winds are going to be. The strongest winds could be well east of center. So it's kind of tricky, Just because you get the eye wall doesn't mean you technically might get the strongest winds on a little weaker, beat-up system. That's why the storm surge goes way east of center, and why the winds are spreading pretty far east of center. Grace is getting a little more organized, but the land interaction with Hispaniola is supposed to tear it apart. But it looks like it relocated the center a little bit. So I'm thinking we might see a little thinking difference with the NHC if this thing goes farther south into the Caribbean and over those super duper hot ocean heat content. So timing, important, because I know we have a lot of folks in Cozumel. This is, Levi puts timestamps on everything, and so 96, the trend here, 96 hours out, 72 hours out, 48 hours out, 24 hours out. So so you get an idea, basically timestamps where we'd be. So we look at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Well, actually it's nighttime, so it'd be Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. So, we're saying Friday weekend here, maybe Thursday midweek here to start watching. But we got that extreme warm ocean heat content ahead, and if this thing misses out on a lot of land interaction, then we're getting another big blow up of convection over it. So Fred refuses to die. Fred is blooming again. So remember, if you're in the Naples area, northward, we got another pretty hefty squall line developing, kind of separate of Fred, but very intense, just off the coast. So pay attention to this little guy right here, because this area here might feel this come up. So that's something to watch, especially on a very, very extreme coastline. This could sneak up tonight and surprise some folks, but it's not the healthiest looking system at all. It's got, dry air to the west. We do have that extra hot water. As a matter of fact, we can see that here on, let's see what the microwave looks like. This is the core of the system, and you'll start to see maybe a little bit of, little signs of organization. But let's see, where is it? Custom Fred storm products. So we can look at the ocean heat content here and zoom in 2 km and look at the heat here. So this is the hottest water in the Gulf right here to the west. And although it's not over the center, good news, right? Some of these outer bands that are trying to develop might have a chance to use up some of this hot water. So that's extremely warm loop eddy water right there. Luckily, this storm isn't a little bit to the west, because this extra pool of warm water would definitely help intensify it. But some of these bands that are trying to wrap around on the west side could benefit from that last second. So we'll see on that. So let's go back to Hurricane Recon. it'll still be another 30 minutes or so before they get through that. So I'm gonna wait. But anyway, anything else? Jason's sausages. I guess there's a sausage joke I missed. Greg, if it drops another 7 points tonight, now they're going to be looking for the wins. So pressure drop happens first, and then the winds take several hours to catch up. Yeah, Greg just brought up a good point, man. If you're looking for a generator, 30% off, Furman. 30% off if you buy it online. 30% off. All you do is type in MWP30 and you get 30% off. Freaking deal of a lifetime. Phenomenal. Thank you, Greg, for that, by the way. Here's your wind bands. So there's that. All right. So that's about it. I don't know. I talked about everything. Oh, there's some barbs. Yeah, I think these were inaccurate, but we'll see. Let's see what they find. See what kind of pressure drop we get. Yep, 00Z. Yep, Fred, I got it out, buddy. About the same. Karen, yeah, Tallahassee winds and gusts. I'll tell you a great site. This is NWS right here. This site right here, my little pointer. Or this guy right here. NWS winds and waves map. Right here. You click on this. And you can zoom in and get detailed information for your area. It takes a little while to load, but it's a really good tool. It's on the National Weather Service site. It's a good one. This is 5 a.m., so we got to fast forward a little bit. But it's a great tool. You can break it down into rain, and you can break it down into temperature and everything else. But I like to look at it during tropics for winds as they load up. So, this is 10 a.m. You 20s, 30s maybe. Here's our possibility of landfall. 17. I mean, Tallahassee is going to be right on that edge. Got to remember, if it does that, you're going to get squall lines. There is no doubt. Squall lines are going to be your biggest threat. So, you're going to get some good little squall lines. Timing would be later in the day, Monday. Probably starting early afternoon. But anyway. So. Anyway. All right. Well, that was good. All right. Well, listen, we appreciate you joining in on Facebook and all the folks on YouTube. And remember, these things are playable right here. I got them on the app. People always say where to go. Facebook keeps them on their page so you can watch it again. And everything you need is on the site. So I encourage you, any questions you have, click on there. You'll see all kinds of stuff. All the surge maps, spaghetti models, hurricane hunter data, current satellite, current radar, all that stuff. So we're going to have a new advisory at 11. My only thoughts on Fred might be the lowering pressure and possibility of a little more wind at landfall they're going to talk about. I don't think track change is going to be big. Probably be tick to the east again. A little tick to the east. Little tick, 20, 30 miles. 20 miles maybe. Then Grace are going to talk about the center relocating to the south, and then probably talk more about the uncertainty with land interaction with Cuba. And with less land interaction with Cuba, it's going to bring up intensity questions that it could possibly re-intensify quicker because of less Cuba. So, but Florida's out of the cone for Grace, it looks like, for good. So that was 2 days ago. Florida was in the cone. Now they're not in the cone. And we're going to go eat sausage now. Hey, Bobby. Is that Bobby? Tides. Yeah, Holden, we showed that, buddy. Or, ma'am, I don't know. Holden. We had two What's up, man? No, what do you call me? Oh, no, I see Holden and somebody else said something. Tell my man something. What the heck? Who was that? See, when I get YouTube chat and Facebook, I get them all mixed up. But the tide charts, Holden, where are they? They are... where the hell are they? Right here, tide information. So there's tides. So Panama look like it's going to be low tide around 3 o'clock p.m. So hopefully that means it won't be the worst case scenario with surge. And Panama's not even really on the high side. The big surge is going to be off to the east side. So even though it's storm path there, obviously the east side is the surge side, as all that water gets pushed up into the to the bay. So, all right. So the cool beans. We will do it in the morning and have omelets. Amanda, Robert wants bacon. June wants happy face. Telford, you're gonna be right there in it. Alabama, nah, you're on the west side. You'll be okay. Stephanie Stokes might be in it. Gonna be some hefty squall lines. Let's take a look at the high resolution H-Wharf here and see kind of what they could look like. Let's see. So we might have PTC 8 at 11 from Invest 96 over by Bermuda. All right, so just for fun, here's what the squall lines could look like. This is morning hour. This is kind of throughout the day. This is Monday morning. This is Monday afternoon. So even with the landfall Monday afternoon, we're going to see, let me go back to Monday afternoon. There's Monday afternoon. Even with the Monday afternoon landfall, look, we're still going to have the tail of Fred tagging along. So Monday afternoon, we saw some modeling that said we could still have some over here too. So these tails are going to inch their way into the peninsula throughout the day. And this is tomorrow afternoon. And then as we go into Tuesday morning, here's Tuesday morning. We still have possibility of more tail action. So you might get a little tail in the morning. And then Wednesday morning, it's going to be wrapped up here with that old frontal boundary. And we can still get a little bit of spotty rains tagging along on Wednesday. But there's your heart of it. And you can see that with the rain charts. We have a front. Here's our lingering front. Oh, what happened today? Oh, there it is. Lingering front. Just hanging around. So when Fred ends up curving up into the lingering front here, we're going to have a little more rain. That's why we got rain maps showing this little higher pocket of rain here once you get into the mountains, because we're going to have that lingering front. So Fred is going to combine with that, and we're going to have rains Tuesday, Wednesday lingering here along the mountains. So cool beans. All right. So sounds good. We're going to wait for the 11 o'clock advisory. I guess I'll leave this live up. I'm not going to probably post until then. I think I need to share the possibility of Florida West Coast getting a surprise little squall line here in a few minutes. So, and this stuff, if you live in the upper Panhandle, Panama City, that whole neck of the woods, pay attention to Hurricane Henderson tonight. Pay attention to the 11 o'clock advisory. If for some reason this thing drops to like 995, the winds are going to pick up probably a little bit. So, but it does not look like it's going to be, anything 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't like to say it's almost impossible. Very, 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 very. You'd have better luck winning the Powerball. So, hey, thanks, Greg. Thanks, Nick. See you at 9:19 a.m. No chasing. That's right. We do this every day of the week. Every day of the week. Been live. I told Shelly the other day, I'm like, why are we even live in the winter? I was live 3 days a week all the way through the wintertime, summertime, springtime. It was fun. We had a good time. Cool. All right, we will see you. Tornadoes, Jesse, I don't know about that. It looks like more squall line stuff, but yeah, Tommy, if that happened, I think it'd be end of the world, man. If this thing dropped to 928, because that would mean end of the world. Cool. All right, we'll see you guys in the morning. Cheers. Time for my first drink of the night as I finish up my Mountain Dew.